Welcome back to Pulse Studios, home of 94.7 The Pulse Community Radio and Pulse Television. This show is produced by Diversitat students and volunteers. So if you'd like to be part of the show as a volunteer, or if you're interested in one of our media courses, check out 947thepulse.com to find out more. On last week's show, Lisa introduced you to some of the volunteers working in Geelong Community Radio. And in our next story, we meet more of the talented people working at 94.7 The Pulse.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I host a show on 94.7 The Pulse called The Travelling Band Show, which is on Saturday nights, 8 o'clock. And I do a show all about live music, gigs all around Geelong, Melbourne, the Surf Coast, and everywhere in between. So yeah, and the reason why I love community radio is I get to meet and talk to some amazing people from all over the country and the world, and I just have a lot of fun doing it as well. Good evening, welcome. You're on 94.7 The Pulse. This is the Travelling Band Show with Rachel. Thanks so much for joining me once and again every single week on a Saturday night from 8 p.m. Got a really big show for you guys tonight. We've got King of the North, so I'm getting to speak to Andrew Hicks from King of the North. Those guys are in Lismore tonight doing a gig, so I'm going to play a new single off from those guys called Wanted. Here it is.
Denis, how long have you been at the station and where were you before?
Liz, I have been at the Pulse looking at the professor about 11 years. Before that I was at 3GL, and then 3GL was originally owned by the Herald Weekly Times, which was the Geelong Advertiser was owned by the Herald Weekly Times. Mr Murdoch bought the Geelong Advertiser, and being an American citizen he wasn't allowed to own a radio station, so 3GL was sold to Hoyt's Media, which was quite disastrous, and I got out because morale was pretty awful, and they turned a very successful radio station into a disaster. So I was actually doing nothing, and one day Peter Moore rang, who was the manager here then, and said, would you like to come and do 2 days here, an hour on a Thursday and a Friday, which I did, and the 2 days soon became 5 days. I didn't intend to stay long. I thought, community radio. But that was over a decade ago, and I'm still here. They'll probably have to cart me out. I mean, but why I enjoy it and why they want me, I'll do it. But what is good about it is that you don't have the paranoia about ratings. I mean, fair enough. In the mainstream radio, if you don't rate, you don't make money. I mean, an FM radio station in Melbourne, if you're on 6%, you'll make money. You go down to 4%, then the agencies don't buy you. The agencies don't buy you, you go broke. I mean, community radio, it's important to get the money in, but you haven't got that paranoia about ratings because community radio is not in the rating system. So I don't miss the ratings thing, and I'm given a free hand. It's very, very rare, exceedingly rare, that management would say, why did you say that, and why did you do this, and why don't you leave the Murdoch press alone, blah, blah, blah. I get none of that. I have absolute freedom, which I enjoy. I do a current affairs show with the Professor and Bob Appleton on a Tuesday. We do current affairs, a lot of stuff that, all due respect to K-Rock and Bay FM, their music stations. Well, on my show we interview mayors, council. We had the mayor on a number of occasions, councillors, politicians, Richard and Sarah, the two local federal members, state members. When we have an election, like the state election that's coming up, we have debates. So it's current affairs. We also do some light stuff. We do sport, little banter with my dear friend, the Professor. We have, characters like Dick Philpott on the show. So it's a mixture of current affairs, local affairs, bit of sport, and as we also say, if we can, a little bit of goss and a little bit of juicy scandal. We love the latter. Hasn't been much around on the latter lately, but that's the sort of show it is. We sort of have a bit of fun. We get serious every now and again, but it's a bit of a mixed bag. I wouldn't equate it to John Fane or Neil Mitchell, because, well, certainly not the latter, because we have a bit of humour.
Up next, Louisa dives in head first at a local spaghetti eating contest.
I'm here at the well-renowned Diversitat Spaghetti Eating Competition. As you can see, I'm entered, so let's go check it out.
Hands need to be behind your back for the entire time.
Well, you can take that home and rewarm it up tomorrow, and the frying pan will taste even better.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. Thank you very much. I'm here with Vince Leone, the winner of this amazing spaghetti eating competition. How are you feeling, Vince?
I'm feeling good and still hungry.
Well, do you want to give us a bit of a demo of your amazing victory? Oh, that is beautiful. That's how we won, folks. That's how we won. Thank you very much, Vince, and congratulations again on the win. Enjoy the wine.
Thank you.
I'm here with Lynn Shanahan, a Diversitat employee. Now, tell us about the spaghetti eating competition. How long has it been going for?
Well, this was the inaugural spaghetti eating competition, and it came about because I was talking with some of our clients. I'm the aged support manager here, and he had been in both the beer drinking competitions and the spaghetti eating competitions in the old days of Paco Festa, like 30 years ago. And I was just sort of thinking about it, and I thought, well, it'd be fun to have a spaghetti eating competition here because we have a lot of Italian clients, and the gentleman I was talking to, he loves to make his own spaghetti sauce, and he uses fresh tomatoes out of his garden, and so we decided that we'd have one here and we'd make it part of Cultural Diversity Week. And involve different people that use the centre and people, you know, throughout Diversitat. So, yeah.
I've had an excellent day today down at the Diversitat Spaghetti Eating Competition, and I'll definitely be back next year. This has been Louisa for Pulse Geelong.